Hello and welcome to GameSec. We're talking about video pinball.
A very underrated genre here. I like a lot of these games that we're talking about today.
Do you?
I do.
Sweet.
I hope you do too.
Well, actually,
what are we doing here?
Kind of do.
Good.
So, anyway, let's start with one that I used to pretty much hate, but I actually discovered a little bit of love for. Not a whole lot of love, but I can appreciate it
You
now.
can tolerate it. Yeah.
Sonic Spinball on the Genesis is going to be an obvious choice to cover here. Back when this was new, I rented it and it just appalled me. I never really gave it a serious play until right now. Basically what they did is they took my least favorite part of any 2D Sonic game and made it into a game unto itself. You start out by flying into Dr. Robotnik's evil fortress to defeat him once and for all. This volcanic island is fueled by the mighty Chaos Emeralds, and that means it's time for some pinball action. You can actually walk around if you land on something flat, which is cool, and you can also jump. You have independent control over left and right flippers, or you can activate them all at once with the jump button, which is what I usually do. There's lots to do here, and the boards are fairly well designed. You need to destroy things and toggle switches before you can advance to other areas and things like that. As for why I initially hated the game, well, just look at it. The graphics aren't horrible, and I like the artwork of the backgrounds, but the colors are far too dark, I felt. Of course, back then I never made it past the first level. The sprites are pretty ugly too. I mean, look at Sonic. Who the hell was in charge of drawing him? Also, the game is extremely choppy. There's a normal mode and a fast mode, but playing it on the fast mode won't fix the bad frame rate. Still, I recommend playing it on fast mode because it feels more natural and it gives you more of a challenge. And then there's the music and the sound. It's horrible. Very few Western developers, and certainly nobody at Sega of America, knew how to handle the Genesis sound chip properly. It sounds very abrasive and not really enjoyable to listen to at all. Check out this tune. Isn't that the most abusive sound you've ever heard in your life? They could torture prisoners with this. They quite literally had no idea what they were doing with the sound. This extremely poor presentation really disappointed me and made me never want to play it again after renting it. Surely the developers had played Sonic 1 and 2 and saw how much smoother everything was in the pinball sections of those games. I just didn't understand why it was released in a form that takes absolutely zero advantage of the hardware it's running on. Still, once you get past all that, the game itself is actually quite good. I couldn't get past that at the time as I wanted cutting-edge stuff on my Genesis, but I can get past it now. And it's a good thing too. I like playing the boards and unlocking my way to the new areas and trying to get to places that I've never been before. I like how when I land on the very bottom of the first level, I only have a second to get out of the way before being gulped by a big robot fish. There's a lot of little touches like that in the game. So basically, you're bouncing around collecting emeralds and stuff. Collect them all and you'll eventually make it to a boss. The upper levels are certainly nowhere near as forgiving as the first, but they're doable. They of course each have their own idiosyncrasies and things that you need to be careful of. Each level is pretty damn big and you're not going to be rocketing through any of them. I'm still not a fan of the colors and the sprites, and I still hate the music, but I've learned to enjoy the game for what it is. I think if it had the graphical and audio quality of the other 2D Sonic games on the system, it'd be held in a higher regard, not only by me, but the population of the entire planet as a whole. Even still, I've got to recommend this game, and it should be in your collection. Wow, I never thought the day would come where I'd actually recommend Sonic Spinball. But I am, and you should have it.
Here's Sonic Pinball Party for the Game Boy Advance by Sega! If Joe actually found things to like about Sonic Spinball, then he'd love this because it's so much better. Even though it's a Sega game, this is definitely a worthy entry into the genre, and I've had lots of fun playing it. Right from the beginning, there's many play options for you to choose from. The arcade mode is just that. There's 3 boards to choose from, and they're from different Sega franchises. There's a Sonic board, a Samba de Amigo, and a Knights board. I'm still upset that they put Sonic's name in the title since he only makes up a third of this game. It should be Sega Pinball Party instead, since not everybody likes Sonic, myself included. Anyway, all 3 boards are fun to play and they're loaded with imagery and music from their respective franchise. At the time I was really excited to have a Knights board. I really liked the game on the Saturn, and 7 years after its release it was looking like we were never going to get another Knights game. So naturally this was the first board that I played. Of course, it's not like playing the Saturn game, but Knights in pinball form is still good. The board is overflowing with themes from the game, and even the music and sound effects are all from the original. As you'd expect, pinball isn't just about hitting the ball randomly at everything. There are objectives to complete. On the Knights board, you must duelize with Knights and then go get the idea. Wow, that sounds as weird to say as it probably sounds to hear. After you collect all 5 ideas, then you fight a boss. The boss fights take place on the same board, but it now has a different background and music. Once you defeat the boss in the time limit, then you start a new stage. The goals are the same and the board layout is the same, but again you'll have a different background and different music. This is the same for all the boards in the arcade mode. Each one of them has multiple backgrounds and music and can all be unlocked after meeting objectives and defeating bosses. There's also a story mode, which is nice. It adds a bit of depth to the game even though you're still just playing pinball. It even gives you a chance to switch characters, like here where I stopped playing as Sonic and took over playing as Tails. All this does is mainly change the background graphics. If you do get sick of playing pinball, there is a lot more for you to experience on this cartridge. There's a few party games that you can play if you want to link up multiple systems. There's Casinopolis where you can play games of roulette, slots, and bingo. All these mini games play similar where you hit your ball into the corners to place bets. All of them are entertaining for a short time, and if you win, you get rings. What are the rings good for, you ask? Well, let me tell you. There's the Chow Garden where you can raise your virtual Chow. You can pet them, which makes them happy. There's a few Game Boy Advance puzzle games you can play to earn more rings. The rings are used to buy food to feed him, which will raise all his attributes. I'm guessing so you can send him into battle in the future, or maybe so he can take care of you when you're old. Either way, if you like this kind of thing, it's here. Overall, this is a great package. The pinball is solid and the flippers and the ball react very realistically. The game is loaded with great music from all 3 franchises represented. If I had one complaint about it, it would be that the playfield seems a bit scrunched. I would like to see a bit more of the table, but that's more of a nitpick as it was something I did get used to. If you like video pinball, you will like this game a lot, so get it now.
Alright, here's Crew Ball on the Genesis. Yeah, it's Dr. Feelgood, I think. What prompted EA to make a Motley Crue-inspired pinball game? I have no idea. Actually, the designers wanted to make a heavy metal-themed pinball game, and the Motley Crue stuff was added later. The designers were actual pinball game designers, by the way. That could be why the physics and whatnot all feel pretty good. Like they were prescribed by Dr. Feelgood. The story of the game starts when a dude arrives at home in his headbanger van. He shuts off the music and then wanders inside. Eventually, he makes it all the way upstairs and turns on the same song that he was listening to on his iPod earlier. But this time, it's pretty loud. The entire neighborhood wakes up and tells him to... Which he does, he's a polite guy. And that's the game's entire story. You better play some pinball to show the neighbors that they can't tell you what to do. The game itself takes place on 4 levels of scrolling action. The plunger is kinda weird as you can hold it until it counts up to 999 and then it releases. Each area has its own things that can be hit or bumped. Often there's things wandering or floating around that need to be destroyed. The top level is pretty hard to get to and even harder to stay on. Hit the ball all the way to the top of that and get a shot of some dude sitting in his chair watching TV. Wow! Like I said, overall the physics feel pretty good and the game plays decently, but the game as a whole kinda feels empty. I never once encountered a bonus room and there was really nothing that made me want to keep playing. So basically it's a well-playing, bare-bones kind of pinball game. The graphics are okay. They're pretty dark and there's nothing really interesting about the artwork at all. Nothing seems heavy metal themed except for maybe the speakers up at the top. And who knows, this could all be set up for a Miley Cyrus concert for all we know. It's not like heavy metal has the monopoly on loudspeakers. The music has 3 tracks from Motley Crue, Live Wire, Dr. Feelgood, and Home Sweet Home for some very strange reason. They sound okay at best. I was a fan of Motley Crue back in their Shout at the Devil days, but I lost interest pretty quickly after that. The rest of the music consists of original compositions by Brian Schmidt. So for pinball games on the Genesis, you can do better and you could definitely do worse. Dr. Feelgood? More like Dr. Feels Mediocre, I think, am I right? Okay, that was dumb.
Alright, so far so good, but I think we're giving Sega a little too much love here, you know? Even though one of the games was a Game Boy Advance game.
Yeah, maybe so.
I don't know.
Well, hell, let's just talk about something you brought for the PS2.
Ooh. This is Flipnik for the PlayStation 2 from Sony. This is easily one of the strangest video pinball games that I've ever played. I'm a pretty big fan of video pinball, and when I booted this game up for the first time and started playing, my reaction was like, what the hell is this? There's no doubt about it that this is a pinball game. It's just very strange and definitely a unique experience. If you choose the original mode in the beginning, you can play one complete board and sample a few of the other ones. The boards that you can sample have a 5-minute timer on them, but the good news is that you can unlock these boards later on. As you play the first board, you can see a list of requirements that you need to meet to unlock a new board. Once you meet all the red ones, a new board will be unlocked. This is how it is in the original mode. If you just want to play an exhibition game for points, then you can play almost any of the boards you want for as long as you can last. So the game controls well, but it's not great. Flipper response is good, but getting the ball to go where you want is really tough sometimes. I've played enough real pinball to know how to hit the ball to get it where you want to go. It's not the same here, and you'll get different results from the same hit of the flipper. There's an announcer guy that will talk periodically throughout the game letting you know how to get a free ball and other types of things.
Hit all bumpers that have error.
It can be pretty useful to listen to him. I like that the gameplay is mixed up with video clips. They have little clips for lots of things like announcing multi-ball play, and the lady tells you to have a great time.
Multi-ball. Have a fantastic time.
Thanks, I will! Or a clip announcing that you've unlocked a new level.
You unlocked the next stage.
Each board that you play is completely unique. The biology board is full of water, animals, and lots of green trees and plants. This one is kind of confusing, and it's pretty easy to get turned around as the board flips all over the place when you transition from one play area to the next. The board is made up of a bunch of smaller play areas that are connected with metal tubes. At times, it's really hard to stay in one part of a board because you'll hit your ball back into the metal tube and get taken away to another part of the board. It's not a big deal though, and you'll eventually find your way back to where you were. The stage also has a slot machine area, which is pretty interesting. It lets you take a break from pinball and count UFOs for extra points. The other boards play similar, but they look completely different. The metallurgy board, as you'd expect, is all metal looking and has some tough requirements to unlock the next stage. But if you're patient enough with the weird gameplay that this board has, you'll figure it out. This part doesn't control like normal pinball and will take a fair amount of time as you have to shut down these red things. It's hard because they're not open all the time and you're going up and down these little nubs waiting for your chance to hit them. I have no idea what I'm doing here, but hey, I unlocked another stage! Yay me! I really like the looks of the optics stage. I like the lighting and the wireframe feel, and there's nothing really crazy happening here, so that's kind of nice. The last stage is crazy. It's not really pinball, but more like Breakout. It's really fun to play, and I like the feel of the board. It controls pretty rough with the analog stick, so you gotta be on point the whole time. And why do people say on point anymore? What does that mean? Flipnik is really a unique pinball experience. If you haven't tried it, I think it's worth a look, as you might not play anything this different for a long time.
Shoot the rings and collect all colors. The colors of the rings change each time a ball hits a bumper.
This here is Digital Pinball Necronomicon for the Sega Saturn. It was released only in Japan for some reason. Like RPGs, every pinball game needs a story, and this one has a monk slowly wandering through a monastery of sorts. And of course, that means you need to play some pinball! This is one of those video pinball games that tries its damnedest to recreate playing on an actual table. You've got an angled view that never scrolls, and it features absolutely nothing out of the ordinary. There's no creatures walking or floating around, or really anything that a real pinball machine couldn't do. There's 3 different tables here, and they're all pretty basic compared to what I've seen in real-life pinball. One of the boards is called Arkham Asylum, and it doesn't have anything to do with the Batman universe. That would have been cool. Normally, I don't like these kinds of video pinball games, as I want to see something take advantage of the medium, like creatures running around, grabbing my ball, or something that I physically cause to explode. Normal pinball is just so normal. Anyway, that doesn't mean that this game is bad. The physics seem incredibly good. You've got your standard bonuses like multi-balls and whatnot. Sometimes you'll need to do things like spell out the word wisdom. Not like that actually accomplishes anything, you just start spelling it again from the beginning. Before each ball launches, you get to choose a bonus. Yeah, I'll take the free 20 million points that I didn't earn, thank you very much. Since there's no room to show the top of the pinball machine, graphics will often flash on top of the playfield while your ball is in action, and it can be fairly distracting if you're not careful. The graphics look good, if a bit boring, and the music is actually pretty good. In fact, John Petrucci of Dream Theater composed the opening and ending scores. Not that his contributions here are really anything that great though. The in-game music is actually much better, but the problem here is that the guy talking will not stop talking.
His dark angels from above will come, and he'll be worshipped by us all.
Shut up, dude. No one cares what you're babbling on and on about. Unfortunately, there's no option to turn his ass off, and he has a lot to tell you, again and again and again. This isn't my favorite pinball game, and I'm not really sure why I imported it, but I'd rate it above Screwball.
This is Pokemon Pinball, Ruby and Sapphire Edition for the Game Boy Advance. Again, I'm not really a fan of Pokemon, but when you add the word pinball to the title, I get intrigued. It had made me interested enough that I went out and bought the game when it came out, and I liked it. The game features 2 boards, one for Ruby and one for Sapphire. The object of each board is the same, and that's to catch all the Pokemon. There's a ton of Pokemon in this game to catch, so you'll be playing this game for quite a long time to fill up your Pokedex. Yes, the Pokedex is a place where you go and admire all the different types of Pokemon you've caught. It tells you a little bit about each one, and that's about as exciting as a Pokedex gets. The pinball mechanics in this game are good. The flippers work well and the ball is responsive, but it feels a little floaty sometimes. Did you notice that the ball is a Pokeball? Actually, that was done on purpose, or how else would you catch all these Pokemon? There's 2 ways to catch these little bastards. The first way is to hit into the Pokemon's mouth on the right side of the screen. This will trigger a random Pokemon silhouette in the middle of the board. As you hit the bumpers in the top part of the screen, the silhouette will reveal the Pokemon. Once it's completely revealed, you have to hit it 3 times and then your Pokeball will do its thing and catch it. The second way is to hatch it. On the upper left is a volcano-looking thing with an egg on top. Hit the Pokemon in front of it until it goes into the mountain. The egg on top will hatch and that Pokemon will crawl around the screen. Hit that little SOB 2 times and you've caught him. Catching these will do nothing except for fill your Pokedex. After you've caught a few, you'll have a chance to evolve them. Hit the ball into the Poke Center or Mart and then choose which Pokemon you want to evolve. After hitting a few bumpers, Evo will light up under the Pokemon and a gravity field will appear. Hit the ball into this and your Pokemon will evolve. After you've caught 3 Pokemon, you'll have a chance for a big bonus. This might be as close as you get to a boss fight in this game. You get taken away to another screen to fight this big dinosaur looking thing. It's not a tough fight because all you have to do is defeat him in under the 3-minute time limit. Drain your ball? No big deal, it'll come right back. After you defeat him, you get a big bonus, but that's about it. Both of these boards are fun to play. It takes a little bit, but eventually I really got into it. The layouts of each board are difficult. There's a few areas that I haven't been able to hit my ball to because the angle of the ramps makes it impossible to hit. I'll keep trying though, and eventually I'll get my ball up there. Not only that, but I feel the Pokeball is slightly larger than it should be. Normal shots to ramps can be hard just because it seems to be a tight fit. Graphically, the game is great. I like the bright colors, all the detail, and the animation all throughout each board. One thing that I don't like is the music. The music on each board sounds like something they'd play at a retirement home. It doesn't fit the game at all, and I hope it's not a theme from the actual game because it's really bad. That's my only real complaint about this game. Other than that, it's quite a good time, and I'm sure there's lots of stuff that I haven't seen yet. I just gotta figure out how to get the ball up those damn impossible angles.
Hardly anyone ever talks about Time Cruise on the TurboGrafx 16. They really should because it's pretty damn fun. You play the role of Eric and you just finished building a time-traveling pod and get an eerie message from some aliens. That's right, time for some pinball! What's unique about this one is the sheer size of the main board. It not only scrolls up and down several screens, but to the left and right as well. So it's at least as big as 3 pinball machines, probably even bigger. There's lots of stuff to hit, and honestly the main table feels kind of crowded. It takes a bit to get a feel for how the physics work and to learn how to shoot your ball precisely where you want it to go. And there's so many things that can get in the way that it's harder than you might think. It's still really fun though, and there's not much of a danger of losing your ball, so you can keep on trying. Towards the top there's lots of time machines that you can activate. These lead to bonus rounds of all different sorts and yes, different time periods. These are generally pretty fun. Like this one where you need to angle the ramps to get the ball to slide into the hole where you earn an extra ball. It's tougher than it looks, but it's still really fun. Others play like regular pinball, but you need to destroy things that are floating around. My favorite bonus stage, of course, is Neanderthal Man. You take control of a Neanderthal who plays golf and tries to hit the pinball all the way down to score an extra ball. Neanderthals loved golf, trust me, I know. If you hit the ball into the bushes or the water, then it puts you back up a level or two. Overall, this bonus round is pretty easy, but it's tons of fun. My least favorite bonus round takes place 37 years into the future. You control and tilt the board exactly like you would in Super Monkey Ball, but you can't tell which way it's tilting. The little panels at the top try to help, but good luck. You can keep your damn extra ball because this sure as hell ain't happening. The graphics are decently done, if a little busy. I wish the different areas of the main board looked different as you moved up and down and left and right. That would help give each area a unique feel and add a lot to the game, I think. The bonus rounds all look pretty good and uncluttered. The music is great and I never got tired of the main theme at all. Each bonus round also has their own theme. If you like video pinball, I definitely recommend that you give this often overlooked title a shot. Come on, it really does deserve some more love.
Alright, there's some video pinball games for you. Now, what the hell? How can we have a video pinball episode and not talk about Devil's Crush, Alien Crush? What the hell is wrong with us?
We are not crazy, everybody. We actually have a full episode dedicated to Nagsat Pinball.
Yep, if you want to watch that very, very old episode, click that card somewhere up there on the top. There's more over there. But you'll be able to watch our very, very old episode dedicated to Nagsat Pinball where we cover all that kind of stuff.
Yes, please do. And also give us some ideas, because I like this genre very much, and there's games I'm sure that are out there that I don't know about, but I need to know.
Exactly. We didn't even talk about House of the Dead Pinball, and that's not even on our Nagsat episode.
Oh my gosh, really? What the heck?
But we did cover it
But we
before.
did cover it, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, give us some ideas, and we would definitely like to talk about this genre again. And in the meantime, thank you for watching GameSet.
Hey everybody, here I am in Joe Redifer's basement. I thought I'd just make a quick vlog here since he's not here, and I'd wanted to kind of show you guys what I have to come to every other weekend. This is what I have to put up with. See, this is the room where we do our innings, and I just wanted to show you what kind of slob Joe is. I mean, he's just a filthy guy. I mean, look at all this stuff. You know, some random crap there, some Master System games, a pile of controllers and crap. I mean, sheesh. Okay, you know, well, this looks all right over here. There's his wall of games. You know, there's a lot of crap in here, really. I mean, if you take a look at it, there's a bunch of crap. Well, this isn't crap. We know this. I've had a love affair with Snatcher for a while, and I've had Joe's for a few times, and I think it's my turn to take it again. So, we'll just, yeah, I'll do that. And here's some more crappy games. Bunch of crap Genesis. I mean, it's just all filler. I don't know why anybody want to. Oh wait, this isn't too bad right here. Yeah, definitely. I think. You know, he won't notice that one missing. So, what's over here? Some more Saturn. Here's crap. Yeah, crap. I don't know. That one's all right. Crap. Oh, this is a good one. Yeah. Dragon Force. Hey, he won't miss that. Do you think so? I don't think he will. So, whatever. We're just gonna take that and put it over here. So, but anyways, that's Joe's room collection here. And you know, the sad thing is, there's Well, look up here. This is it. This is where Joe keeps his Nintendo games. Can you believe this? What a jerk. I just can't believe this guy. Anyways, well, you know, that's it. I just wanted to show you guys this room, and God, he even leaves his lights on. Guy has no concern for energy savings or anything, but whatever. All right, well, I'm going to head on out here, guys. Thanks for watching this. I know it's short and stuff like that, but
Whoa,
holy
what are you doing here?
What are you doing here?
I live here.
Come
on.
Okay, well, I'm just leaving now, Joe. So I'll see you next week for the next episode, all right? Okay. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. All right, see you later.